Steve, Seaside Whispers here. So today I am going to be doing something that I haven't tried before, which is a soft-spoken ramble type video for you. So I thought I would start with just talking about the things I liked in this video, just keep it fairly simple for you. And I hope that you like it, and let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is my favourite books, well, specifically authors really. My favourite author is Tom Clancy. Now he sadly died in 2013, though they are still currently writing various series of his books, and at the moment I am reading this one, which is called Tom Clancy's Full Force and Effect, and it's written by a chap called Mark Greavney, just there, and as I say, he's one of the writers who's continued the series. Basically the series is about a guy called Jack Ryan. Now some of you may have seen the films like Hunt for Red October, Clear and Present Danger, that sort of thing, and you'll know Ryan started out as a CIA analyst and basically works his way up through the system, and in the current books he is the President of the United States. But basically this also focuses on his son, Jack Ryan Jr., who has also joined a sort of clandestine intelligence outfit where he's investigating various sort of problems going on abroad, shall we say. I haven't actually got that far into the book yet. It's quite a monster, about 650 odd pages, but I do like these sort of thriller, conspiracy type books. They're one of my favourite sort, especially Tom Clancy's. I think I've got pretty much all of his that he's ever written. I first started reading him back in the early 90s, I think. Hunt for Red October, that was his first book he published in the mid-80s, I think. And that was got made into a film later on. And I just sort of got into his books. As you can see, it's quite a thick old tome there. And so I'm currently reading him, and he's probably my favourite author. Another one I do like is Clive Cussler there. Now I like Clive Cussler because I do like just the sort of adventure type novels really, which you don't have to take too seriously, and they're good for just reading. You want a quick book to read really. Most of his books are sort of set around an organisation called Numa. I think that's how you say it anyway. They're an underwater investigative and science sort of outfit, but they tend to get into adventures, especially against maniac billionaires for some reason, who want to take over the world, and it's their kind of job to stop them. Another of my favourites is a chap called Andy McDermott, and he's a British writer. He's been writing a few years now. He's still fairly new to the scene. He writes, again, sort of action type scenarios where they basically discover lost treasures, that kind of thing. And again, there's quite a lot of humour in that one, British-based humour, so that's sort of book I like. Another one is Matthew Riley. Now, if you like action films, but again you like reading, his books are really like an action film, I suppose. And he writes, definitely what you call a page turner. Now, at the moment, I'll show you my bookmarks that I've got in my Tom Clancy book. There it is. Paddington Bear. Now, Paddington Bear was my favourite book as a child. Still one of my favourite books now. As some of you know from Facebook, I'm a little bit obsessed with Paddington Bear. I've got the film. I've seen that quite a few times. But basically, this was my favourite book character as a child, and I think I've still got some of the books somewhere in the attic, but so I haven't read it for a long time. But they've definitely still got a sort of interest in Paddington Bear. Now, next sort of favourite things I'm going to talk about are favourite sports. Now, there's one in particular, football or soccer. It's not the sort of American football as you know it, some of you. It's the soccer football. Now, my favourite team, and I've got the shirt to show you, is Aston Villa. Now, they're a team, there's the badge, just there. Yep, there we are. Now, they're a team that's based in Birmingham in England, and I've been supporting them now since the early 90s, I think. And the reason I sort of took to support them in the first place was, one, I like the colour of the shirt, as you do, and two, I like the name, Aston Villa, something a bit different really. All my friends used to support Arsenal, Man United, that sort of thing, but I thought, I quite like the name of this team, so let's see how they do. And luckily, when I first started supporting them, they were doing okay. They won a few trophies, which isn't bad, but for the last sort of 15 years they've been, should we say, relatively rubbish. So you've obviously got to stick with them. Now, the badge there has got a little sort of motif on it, and that is called Hercules the Lion, and he's the sort of club mascot really. You can see the club colours are claret, sort of purpley colour, and blue there. Now this shirt here is what they call the home kit. Basically it's what they wear when they play at Villa Park, which is their ground, or sometimes they play against other teams, but they don't have the same colours, so therefore they can wear this. As I say, that's the main sort of team I follow and the main sport. I also like rugby union, where basically I follow the England team, and this year I believe the Rugby Union World Cup is coming to the UK. I think England, I'm not sure if Wales is hosting any matches as well, and so I should be following that with avid interest. So come September I should be sort of glued to the screen, hoping England, fingers crossed, will do some good. About time we sort of won it again. We haven't won it in I think about 12, 13 years, something like that, and 2003 was the last time. And the other sort of sport that I kind of follow, not as much as I used to, is cricket. Now, a lot of you go, cricket, boring, but it's really the short version of the game that I've been following recently, called 2020, which basically they just play 20 overs each and they score runs very quickly, unlike the old version which they kind of stand around for 5 days and scratch their butts. Not a lot happens really. A lot of the time it's just a draw, so I started following that but didn't really carry on with it. So it's mainly going to be the football side of things that I'm interested in. Next is favourite films. Now, my favourite film is probably Lord of the Rings. Yep, so I'm one of them who likes the Lord of the Rings series, The Hobbit. Though I have to admit at the moment I've seen the film, but I haven't actually got the DVD of the last Hobbit yet, so I've got the other two. So I've got to complete that collection at some time, and then I can watch all of them in one go. Yay! Another film I like, actually, one of my other favourite films, Ghostbusters. That was brilliant as far as I'm concerned. Came out in the mid-80s, I believe, and as a kid it was just something else completely. It was funny. I obviously had these guys sort of chasing after ghosts with these really cool sort of ray guns, I suppose. Proton packs they were actually, bit of a geek. So I know they're called proton packs. And obviously I say to see these cool guys running around with ray guns trying to zap ghosts, yeah, brilliant. And so I was well into Ghostbusters, I still am. I think they say it's one of the best films out, with Ghostbusters 2 as well. And one other film I like is called The Three Amigos. Now that's got, if I'm right, Chevy Chase, Steve Martin and Martin Short in it, and it's a comedy film about sort of three actors down on their luck really, and they end up going to Mexico and somebody mistakes them for sort of law enforcement people, I guess is the best way to describe it, and they end up sort of getting mixed up fighting the bandits, but they think they're in a film, and so of course they're sort of going around acting, and then all of a sudden they realise they're not, so they have to actually sort of step up to the mark and take over the characters that people think they really are. yeah, it's a good film if you like it. It's a bit silly, but yeah, it's a good film. The next thing is favourite bands. Now, I'm a kid of the 80s, so I grew up in the 80s, so I like a lot of 80s and sort of early 90s stuff, but mainly it's going to be the sort of rock stuff, really. So one of my favourite bands is Queen, the legendary Queen, yes, Freddie Mercury. Sadly, I think he passed away in 1990, I'm not sure it's 1, 2, something like that. But obviously they're still going with a slightly different lineup today, but it's great watching them all the same. I think they do brilliant songs, and to me they're the best band of all time. Obviously some people may agree, some people may disagree, but you can't fault them for showmanship, definitely. When you watch things like Live Aid and that kind of thing, when Freddie was at his peak, yeah, absolutely brilliant performance. Another band I like, Bon Jovi, because again, growing up in the 80s, especially the song Living on a Prayer, that's what I call my anthem, really. And when I go to karaoke, which is pretty rare because I can't sing, yeah, that's the one I like to belt out at people, so they can stick their fingers in their ears. Another band I like is fairly recent. It's a band called Fun. Say they probably brought out their album a couple of years ago. I don't think they've done a second album yet. Not that I know of anyway, it might be coming out. But yeah, again, they're another sort of lot I like the sound of. Individual artists, well, obviously there's the late great Michael Jackson. You can't go wrong with any of his songs, really. And the other one, which is the first probably singer I really liked, is Billy Joel. The first album I ever bought was in 1993. It was the River of Dreams album, and I say I really got into him by listening to the song Uptown Girl, and so that's one of my favourites as well. And so I just went and bought the album and been liking him ever since, even though most of his stuff he doesn't actually make anything anymore. I think he just generally does sort of the odd concert here and there now, but most of his stuff is from the 70s and 80s, really. So yeah, so that's another one I particularly like. In terms of sort of women, my favourite artist is again another, the late great Karen Carpenter. I just think there's something about her voice that just sort of mellows you out, really, and she's got a wonderful tone to her voice. So that's another one I sort of like, the Carpenters as well. So pretty wide range of music. There's other ones I like, but I sort of dip in and out, really, but they're the main ones who I've got albums for and that kind of thing. Now lastly, favourite holidays. So as a kid I used to go on holiday to a place called Mallorca, which is in the Mediterranean, quite close to Spain, and I believe it's actually one of the Spanish territories. I used to go there with my dad and sometimes my sister, and we used to sort of have beach holidays, as you do, but I always used to find it, really good fun being there with the family. My mum never used to come because she used to hate flying, or she still does actually. She doesn't really like going away from the country as such, and when she does, it's like on a boat or coach, that kind of thing. So she's not into flying, she's not into hot weather, so she's quite happy being at home, going to various places, which is fine. So other favourite destinations I've been to more recently are Canada and America. Been there a few times, but obviously I'd like to go back, especially New York City. That is probably, of all the cities in the world that I've been to, my definite favourite. It's everything that it's hyped to be and more. I could quite easily go back again and again. Also, I've recently been, about 3 years ago now, South Africa. Now, that is a wonderful country. So much to see, so much to do. I definitely recommend, if you want to go there, do a safari just for a couple of days. It's worthwhile going to see, especially sort of in their winter time, I suppose, coming into spring, because there's no leaves on the trees and you can see more animals. And I got to see sort of elephants, lions, giraffes fairly close up, and that was a good experience. Cape Town, wonderful place. People there are so friendly, it's definitely worthwhile going. The other place, which is probably currently my favourite because I've been to there very recently, was Australia. Now, it's a long way to fly. It was about 20 odd hours from the UK, and I travelled from East Coast to West Coast, and sort of started in Perth, a lovely city that. Then went to the middle in it's now known. And then I went up to Cairns, which is the north, let me try and get this, northwest I believe, up near the Great Barrier Reef. Now, if you're going to go to anywhere in Australia, I would definitely say Great Barrier Reef. It's everything, it's just a paradise really. So if you ever get to Australia, definitely head for Cairns, Great Barrier Reef, you won't regret it. Then I went to Melbourne, where they film shows like Neighbours. Didn't actually get to see Ramsay Street, but you know, there you go. And I finished in Sydney, so it was a heck of a long trek. I think it was about 3.5 weeks, and so yeah, I'd go back and have a proper explore of some of the places. But Sydney was really nice as well. Again, it's everything you'd expect it to be. Everybody's warm and friendly. There's plenty to see. If you love beaches, definitely go there. And whilst I was out there, I got this. It was just north of Cairns. There's like a rescue centre. Wallabies, kangaroos, you see koalas, that kind of thing. And it's actually set in the rainforest just north of Cairns. And the only way to get there is either by train. I think you can get a road, but it's a long way. And you can also go by one of the world's longest cable cars, which I did. And I think it's about 7 miles long, straight over the canopy. And you get to see all the forest, all the rivers, and you can even look back at the coast, which is amazing. So again, that's why that area is really, really nice, and I definitely want to go back there and back to Sydney again, so travel down the east coast. But whilst I was there, I got to meet this little fella. Now, you can see there, just a little, I don't know if you can see that for the light, there he is, koala, and for some reason they let Muppets like me hold koalas, which is fine, but it all helps towards their upkeep of the place, and obviously you just pay a little bit and you can sort of get a photograph with the koala, which I thought was lovely. The thing is though, so they're sort of, when they grab hold of you, like a baby, you know, when you try to get them off, they don't let go, they're like stuck, so you're like, okay, that's enough, now get the koala off. But yeah, they're lovely animals. So yeah, that was just some of the things that I like, some of my favourite things, so I hope you found it interesting and maybe relaxing. But obviously feel free to leave any comments, ideas, do you want to see any more rambles or anything to do in reading videos, that sort of thing. And just want to say thank you for watching, thank you for supporting me. Thanks to all people who subscribed and left nice comments over the time I've been doing this. And just leaves me to say goodbye for now and have a great